welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel. If you have never seen me before, then welcome to my channel, and if you are returning, then thank you so much for being here. So in today's video, I'm wanting to give some tips as a 2024 bride who got married in May last year. So I've now been married about 7 months, and I'm just wanting to impart some of my tips and advice to you if you're getting married in the future. I thought I would just give a very small kind of background to our wedding, just in case you were curious. So we got married on May the 4th, 2024. So we actually got married in a church. We had like a church ceremony, and then we went onward to a hotel near us. So that was kind of what we did. We had about 90 day guests and about maybe between 20 and 30 evening guests. So that kind of lets you know roughly how big the wedding was. So I've got my little tips on a note on my phone, so I'll just pull it up. If you have any questions about any of these tips or anything like that, or anything that you'd like to add, feel free to do it down below in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. I have my wee peppermint tea. Should actually have this facing this way because it says Mrs. How fitting. I'll just wipe off my lip gloss. Okay, so I've split the tips up into, first of all, it's kind of money saving tips, which, let's be real, that is the kind of tips you're after. Like, weddings are crazy expensive. The wedding industry is mental. I mean, you hear everyone say that if you add the word wedding in front of anything, it just increases the cost absorbently. I think that's the word. So yeah, we love to save money. So here we go. Number one, do not splurge on an expensive veil. I wore a veil. I think I wore it up until maybe the meal, or just before the meal. I can't remember when I took it off. So I don't even think you wear it the full day. I tried on different veils in different wedding dress shops, but just while I was trying on different dresses and things. And I think that the prices range from about £200 to £400 for the types of veils that I was trying on, which were mainly a veil with a train with pearl embellishment. That was mainly the ones that I was trying on. So yeah, think about that £200 to £400 mark. The veil that I wore on my wedding day, which I'll include pictures, I loved it. I thought it was really beautiful. I thought it looked so nice in all the photos. It was from Amazon and I got it for £27. So I thought that was a fantastic decision. Absolutely crazy amount you're saving. They're so expensive and I just don't think there's a need for it. So yes, I was very happy with my little bargain veil. This is another one which is kind of a do not splurge item. Now I know that everyone's different when it comes to like accessories and shoes. Personally, I am not a shoe girly. Like I'm not too fussed. I ended up getting my shoes from ASOS and the Be Mine bridal range. I had a wee look and they range from about £25 to £40. I think mine were about £35. But again, I'll include some pictures. They're simple. My dress covered up my shoes, so I wasn't bothered. I think that the only time that they would have been shown is when I was hiking up my dress to get in and out of a car, and for the kind of nice flat lays the photographer takes in the morning. That's it. That's the only time that my shoes are seen as far as I'm aware, and I just was not up for paying hundreds and hundreds of pounds. I know that some people, they love shoes, they're like kind of more designer people and they want to spend a lot of money on their shoes because they can keep them. I have still kept my £30 ASOS ones and I'll be able to wear them again, and they were really comfy. And yes, so that's another do not splurge recommendation. Tip number 3, so I would say that when you're kind of shopping around for things, don't be afraid to try and haggle or kind of set kind of how much you were hoping to pay, if that makes sense. So when we were going for our videographer, I'd already booked a photographer and I paid X amount of money. When I got the quote for the videographer, it was more than that, and in my head I was kind of hoping that they would be the same, and I expressed that to the videographer and he was able to kind of bring the cost down to meet me, and I don't feel like I had like a worse service because of that. There was nothing that was taken off of the kind of package that we got because of that difference in payment, and I think it's just worth a go. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's not really the end of the world. But there was that, and then I'm trying to think. Yeah, favours as well. I kind of went to a factory, so instead of buying something on a website which was super expensive, it turned out the factory of where these things were getting made was near me, so I went directly to the factory and they were able to give me a price that was so much cheaper than on the website, which didn't include shipping fees and was kind of their like wholesale price rather than the price that's on their website. So that was just another kind of like lucky thing of just kind of risking it and asking the question. And again, if they said they couldn't do anything, then that's fine, you'd walk away, but it's just worth a try, you know. Kind of similar to that vein as well, I would also try make use of discounts. So we were able to get a wee Black Friday discount from one of our vendors, and that was quite good to hold out for that that because it made quite a difference. Like I think it was a 20% discount or something, because that made quite a difference. So if you know that time of year's coming, the vendors might be doing sales, it might be best to hold off and book them around that time. Tip number 4, I think this is kind of the ultimate tip that people use when it's about cost saving, is try DIY. So I DIY'd our wedding stationery. That included our invites, our place settings, our menus, our welcome signs, table plans, and other little things that we had on during the day. So I did like a sip and solve thing, which is like a crossword type thing for the cocktail hour, the drinks reception. DIY'd the favours, and I think that was about it. And just general like little frames for things that were put out, everything like that. When you compare the difference of DIYing that and making it yourself versus what you would pay if you were to buy it on somewhere like Etsy, the difference is crazy. Like I was shocked how much people would charge for a small little like A5 printout of something. It was crazy compared to you just making it and printing it yourself. Obviously you would need to pay for a printer. I was able to use my dad's printer, thank you very much, but the argument still stands. I'd say it is a massive like time sucker. So even though you're saving money, the time is vast. And obviously for some people you might not have that time, you know, maybe if you've got like a young family, you just might not have that time, so you might just have to suck it up and pay the money for someone else to do it. But if you can afford to be a little bit more flexible with your time, and particularly if your wedding's quite far away, start as early as you can. You can't do everything super ahead of time, like table plans and stuff obviously, and place settings you need to wait for people confirming if they're coming or not. But if there's stuff that you can try and do ahead of time, I would definitely do it, because I was kind of panicking like the couple of weeks leading up to the wedding. I was like, oh my gosh, I still have so much to do. Me and Ryan would sit at night sitting over there watching TV, tying little things around, little pieces of twine around favours, folding things. It was just, yeah, it was a lot, so be very cautious, that it will be very time consuming. I did a bit of a kind of comparison of, I'll include a little video of the invitations that we made. According to my costings, that came to about £150 for about 70 invites, I think roughly 70 invites. When I compared that to an Etsy seller who was making the same style of invites as mine, it was about £500 for 70 invites. So yeah, that is really substantial. And also I was having a look at what different companies charge for big welcome signs and everything like that, which I made by designing on Canva and then getting them printed out on like an online like printed.com or Vistaprint, like that kind of thing, and they send them directly to you. I think it's substantially cheaper to do that than do it through a decor company. So for example, someone that might be doing your centerpieces or anything like that, I think they charge quite a lot of money, and then Etsy people charge a little bit less, but then the solution that I ended up using was even less again. I didn't DIY our centerpieces or anything like that, any kind of decor in the place, which yeah, I wouldn't have had any scope to do that. If I was very, very organised, I could have done it ahead of time, but I was happy to pay someone to do that side of things. But yeah, there's so much stuff that you can DIY, so yeah, it's just thinking about where you value your time, essentially. Another tip is kind of asking for favours where possible. I think when you're planning a wedding, people do want to help you, like they know that it can be quite an undertaking, so asking for favours from people in your life. So one of my like good friends, she sang at our ceremony, which was so beautiful. It's also a really special thing, you know, when people that you know are involved in the day. So she sang for us, so we didn't need to kind of pay for like a cantor during the ceremony. And then my manager, he played the bagpipes, and we actually got quotes from people playing the bagpipes, and it was so expensive, I actually couldn't get over it. So I was so grateful for him to be able to do that. There's a lot of other people, like I know for a fact if I'd asked Ryan's mum to do the flowers, she 100% would have, and she's so talented with flowers, but I almost didn't want to put that on her because it's flowers are something that needs to be done quite close to the time, and that's pretty stressful, so I just didn't want to put that on her. But I know that she definitely would if I'd asked her. So yeah, ask for favours where possible, enlist the help of people. People want to help, and as such, it's really nice to have them as part of your memories of the day. Number 6, so this kind of relates to my other point as well, previously when I was talking about Etsy. So this is a little bit of a hack that I think I accidentally learned. On Etsy, if you move stuff to your bag, or if you move it to your favourites and keep it there for like a day or 2 days, quite often the seller will send you a discount code. Maybe it's 10%, maybe it's 15%, to go and buy that thing. So if I saw something on Etsy, I would kind of never buy it then and there. I would always add it to my bag or add it to my favourites and I'd say the majority of the time I always get a discount code sent to me. So I've kind of kept that little knack when I'm shopping on Etsy generally. And I think that's a really good hack, to be honest. Yeah, I'm quite proud of that one. Number 7, in terms of spending, obviously you spend a lot of money on your wedding. I would really recommend spending that money on something that's going to give you a little bit back, so a rewards credit card. So we ended up getting a Barclays card that was linked to Avios points, and we spent enough money that we got a kind of Avios upgrade thing for British Airways. So that's now just sitting there that we can use whenever we want. I always check Money Saving Expert and Be Clever With Your Cash. So they'll have kind of pages on the best rewards credit cards at the time. Yeah, it's normally like American Express or ones that are linked to like Avios or Nectar points. But you're already spending that money, so you may as well try and get a little bit back from it, you know? Prior to actually booking vendors and stuff, I would recommend shopping around for quotes, because quite often people's prices are very different, particularly our transport. And I remember I kept getting these quotes back for transport and I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is a lot of money. It was for putting on buses, and then I reached out to one more company and it was about £200 cheaper, and that was just by luck of me keeping trying different places. So yeah, definitely shop around. I know it's frustrating and it's kind of like, oh, you just can't be bothered, but I'd say it's worth it in the long run because every little bit like adds up. So definitely shop around. I'm kind of jumping around here a little bit, but number 9 is related to like saving as well. So I would say if you've got enough time within your saving plan for your wedding, I'd say get a range of savings accounts. We had a kind of normal savings account, and then we also had a regular saver, which regular savers tend to have a lot better interest rates than your standard savings accounts. So they're normally like fixed terms. Ours was a year, and we put in a certain amount every month, and at the end of a year that closed, and then we got a little bump of interest from that, which is more than what we would have got if we'd put it into a standard savings account, if that makes sense. So I think there's different times that you can get. I think some of them are like 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years. So depending on how much time you have to save. Bear in mind that even if your wedding, say it's a year and a half away, you don't have a year and a half worth of savings, because you're going to need to be paying vendors. Some people are paid a month before, some people are paid 2 months before. So you need to have that cash sitting there, say 6 weeks, 4 weeks before the wedding. So I know that sounds obvious, but yeah, bear that in mind, that you don't want to be relying on this cash that's going to be paid out, but it's not coming until next week and you need to pay a bill right now. In terms of the best savings accounts as well, I would recommend the same two as I did before. Be Clever With Your Cash and Money Saving Expert. Number 10 is, this one's kind of after the wedding. So I would say that if you've bought stuff for the wedding and then you're wanting to sell it, I would just say sell it as soon as you can. I think after the wedding, I was kind of in this place of, I've just been doing a lot of admin and planning and X, Y and Z for the last several months. I am entitled to do nothing. I need to just sit down and do absolutely nothing, and nothing to do with wedding, blah blah blah. It's my time to chill. To be honest, that just ended up with me having all this stuff in a room for months. I only sold some things literally last week that have been sitting there for months and months and months. So just do it while you're in the mindset of wedding things. And I've found that selling things on like local Facebook pages has been the best way to clear stuff out. So yeah, do it sooner rather than later. My last kind of money saving tip is in relation to wedding cake. So we got our cake from a baker which we've used multiple times for like different celebrations in my family. They're not necessarily a wedding baker or a wedding cake maker. So I just approached her and asked her if she was able to do wedding cakes, bearing in mind that our cake was pretty simple. It was just a small, was it love heart? Gosh, I can't remember. But I wanted a simple cake. I think it was a 2-tiered love heart cake. So it wasn't kind of super extravagant, but we just approached her and asked her if she could make a cake for the wedding, and what she quoted us was the same price as what she would normally quote for a standard cake. So it was really inexpensive and it was great. It looked amazing. Okay, sorry I got a wee bit cold. I need to get a bit cozier and drink my tea. Okay, so the next, that's the kind of money saving tips. I appreciate that all of those are quite, you know, small in the grand scheme of things, but I think the only way to avoid spending big chunks of money is the choice of your overall theme of your wedding. So if you want a medium to large wedding, it's going to cost a lot of money. If you want a smaller wedding, then that'll save you money. The main way to save money is to invite less people. If you change on your calculations on Excel, take away 5 people, you'll be shocked to see the amount of money that saves, and that just keeps on going. The next area is kind of admin type things. So the first one which I did not do this, but I can really see the benefit of it, is to make a joint email address for all things wedding. So that means that when you are sending out information for quotes, it's all going to that email address. When you eventually need people to RSVP, it's all going to that email address, everything like that. We never did that, and yeah, it's really frustrating because you would kind of lose emails or miss things going in, that kind of thing. I just think it'd be a lot smarter to make a joint email address, and that just saves all that hassle. The second kind of admin one is quite obvious in my opinion, but maybe not to everyone. Use a spreadsheet. So I had a multi-sheet spreadsheet that kept control of budget. Let me actually just rhyme it off a minute. So yeah, it was used to track budget, savings progress, kind of what I was chatting about earlier, how we had multiple different savings accounts. So savings progress, quotes are received, the guest list, when payments are due, and there might be ones that are multiple different times that they're due, so keeping track of what you've already paid, when the next payment's due, when the next payment might be due after that, and the method of how this payment is due as well. That's kind of important when it comes to credit cards. So some things you might not be able to pay in your credit card, some of them might be you have to do a cash transfer, so you need to know that the few weeks leading up to the wedding I need to have this much of cash in my hand that I'm not putting on a credit card. Accommodation, I also use that to keep track of information about the rooms. So in our venue we had different rooms had different things, so I had to know that some of them were accessible rooms for the guests that had come in. So yeah, just kept track of all that in the spreadsheet. When I was kind of in the midst of planning, it was something that I would be checking on the daily, really. So yeah, if anyone would like a copy of my spreadsheet or any more information about it, then leave a comment below and I can see what I can do. Number 3 is really just a kind of admin task that I found easier to do online. So that is table planning. Table planning can be interesting. We never had any major issues with table planning, but I know that some people can and do have major issues, a lot of politics about who can go where, blah blah blah. And I've seen people kind of print out stuff and use little sticky note dots and do all that. I just can't really bother with that. So I used a website called Wedding Wire, which was totally free. I think you can input your guest list information via spreadsheet. I think I ended up putting it in manually, I can't really remember why. But you just need to put in everyone's names and then you build your little tables and then you can just swap things in and out as you see fit. So yeah, I found that super easy, super simple to play about with. Didn't have to like rub anything out or, I don't know, faff about with sticky notes. Yeah, it was just really easy. It was perfect. This is kind of related to after the wedding. So I'm about to really out myself here. This is actually very humiliating. But I'm going to say keep track of gifts when you receive them. So also, this was news to me. I didn't expect this as a thing. Quite a lot of people will give you wedding gifts before the wedding. So when I was kind of seeing my mum and dad and like Ryan's family before the wedding, we would get gifts. Like I would go around and there'd be gifts sitting there waiting for us. I don't know if it's an older generation thing, but yeah. So keep a running note of whenever you open a present, okay, I've put this on my note so I know what they've got in them. The reason behind this is so that you can then write your thank you cards and not quote, but say what you got, what you were grateful for. I'm a terrible human being and I have not done my thank you cards. I ordered them. I didn't do them initially. I waited a few months to order them, and then when I ordered them they were really bad. Like they arrived and they were just really rubbish looking. They looked like they were, yeah, they were rubbish and I was really gutted. So I was going to do it again, but life got in the way and I've still not sent them out and I'm feeling really awful about it. So it's been about 6-7 months. Leave a comment down below. What should I do? Is it too late to send them out, or should I still send them out with an apology about how late they are? I do think I need to still send them out, but I'm actually really embarrassed at this point. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Okay, the next 10 tips are kind of general ones, not related to money saving, not related to admin, just related to just general things. Get a videographer. This is something that I was really on the fence about, and I was I was just really on the fence about it. I knew that I wanted a photographer, but it's just with how expensive everything is, I was like, oh, a videographer is just another large expense and I don't know if it's worth it, blah blah blah. I would definitely say get the videographer. Ours was excellent and I was so happy with my video. You can actually see it on my channel. It is a few videos before this one. I loved it. I loved his style, I thought it was great. One thing that I particularly love, my dad actually passed away in December. We got married in May. When I was booking my videographer, I never expected that this would be a reason I was grateful to have booked a videographer, because he was not unwell, wasn't even unwell during my wedding, not unwell at all. But I have video of my dad doing his speech. I have video of him seeing me in the morning. Yeah, I have just all these lovely memories, which I would have them on a photo, but seeing them in person, seeing them on a video is very different. You never know what's going to happen. Sorry, this is actually really fresh. Oh man, it's a time in your life that you have people in the, people in a room that you care about. It's just really special to have those memories documented. So yes, get a videographer. Highly recommend. Oh, next, okay, let me fix myself. Get a makeup trial. I know that most people that are gonna get their makeup done would get a trial anyway, and leading on from that, I would say, so I ended up getting my makeup trial done, and I got a certain style of makeup done during that. I wanted kind of, I've seen mostly on TikTok people with this, it's that very kind of Charlotte Tilbury-esque makeup where beautiful skin, very romantic, like pinky toned eyeshadow, and I thought that is so bridal, it's so gorgeous, I want to try that. So that's what I did for my makeup trial, and I liked it. But then I got my makeup done for my hen do a few weeks later, and I went for something totally different because I wanted to see how that style of makeup looked on me when it was done professionally, and that was kind of more matte browns, kind of lighter inner corner, darker on the outside, that kind of vibe. I then realised I much preferred that style for wedding day makeup, and then on my wedding day I got that style of makeup, which I really preferred that, and I was so happy with it. So definitely get a trial. Also try different styles of makeup when you're getting your makeup done on the lead up to the wedding. But yeah, just try a few different vibes and see what is your favourite. This is me actually telling you to spend money. Maybe the first section was money saving, and now this is like money spending. This is me saying get a videographer, get this, do this, blah blah blah. This one is hire someone to help you get dressed in the morning. That sounds very silly, right? However, we hired a company from Scotland called Don't Stress to Dress. So we got ready from my mum and dad's house. Someone came in the morning, got everyone organised. So there would have been, there was 2 bridesmaids, myself, mother of the bride, father of the bride, and a group, what do you call it? Page boy and a page boy. So 6 people getting dressed and organised. She did everything. So she steamed all the dresses. She helped the photographer before the photographer arrived by grabbing everything that he would require for the kind of flat lay photos. She organised all the accessories that people would need and got them all laid out really nicely. She helped every single person into their outfits. I don't think she, not my dad, but she sorted my dad out afterwards, getting his kilt all sorted, helped my little nephew who was like a year and a half into his little kilt. Just, it doesn't sound that crazy, but it really made a difference for my mum, especially when we were getting ready from her house, that she didn't need to be going around. She almost kind of like hosted the morning. She would also help us with drinks and make sure that everyone was fed and watered and everything like that. So it just made a big difference in the morning. Like, I wasn't really stressed at all in the morning when we were getting ready. Like, there wasn't anything that I felt like I had to have oversight of, because it just all felt like it was really under control. So I think that that is a really good investment, particularly if you're getting ready in a similar situation. And we only had 2 bridesmaids, but if people have more than that, like, that's so much stuff that needs to get done. That's so much kind of sorting out the dresses, even physically holding people up when they're getting into their dresses, making sure they don't rip their dresses with their heels. And even for my dress, it was quite specific how I had to kind of get the bodice on and all that, and getting the nice buttons done up beautifully at the back. Like, she just did all that. So yeah, it was amazing. Number 4 from this section is, on the wedding day, you always make a list for the photographer about photos that you want to get. I would be quite insistent, I don't know if that's the right term, quite firm on getting the photos that you want. We got a bit rushed at one point, not by the photographer, sorry, but just the day just kind of ran away from us. We were running a bit late, and I kind of just felt pressure to say that we'd come back and get photos at another time, and we never ended up doing that. I had photos with certain people that I never got, and it was just really like upsetting in hindsight. So yeah, be strict with what you originally set as the photos that you want to get, if that makes sense. The next one is make your wedding dress shopping day fun. Not even, well, day. We had several days. It was me, mum and my sister that went. One day we went to a nice restaurant that we'd never been to before, and another time we went and stopped at a hotel that we'd never kind of been to before and got lunch. And it kind of just, it can be quite intense and stressful, and just by trying to make it a full day and make it just, I don't know, a little bit of fun as well, takes away the potentially stressful element. So yeah, definitely make a day of it. And I think the same stands for, you know, like bridesmaids dress shopping, that type of thing. Also when wedding dress shopping, I would say just as hard as it can be, just try and kind of go with your gut. So there was some things that I would try on that other people would really love on me, and I would kind of feel pressured, like, okay, they're saying this is really, really nice, but in your heart of hearts you know that it's not you or your style and that you don't actually feel that comfortable in it. But when everyone's telling you you look so nice, then it can be hard to kind of state against that it's actually not really your vibe. So yeah, just try and go with your gut as much as possible. I know that it can be tricky, especially when people are looking at you and all eyes on you. It can be a wee bit intense, but yeah, just go with your gut. I also don't think it needs to be something of like when you know you know. I feel like in hindsight, looking back, I kind of did know with my dress, but I was too cautious to actually let myself go with that feeling of knowing, and I ended up coming back a second day to try it on to like verify that feeling. But don't be, if you don't have that feeling of, oh my god, this is the one, it doesn't matter. Like that is, I don't think it's that deep. We're not like a super emotional family, so I never had a moment of walking out and everyone's like in tears, do you know what I mean? That never happened, and I wasn't not expecting that, so it was not a disappointment. But yeah, your situation might not be the same as people that you see on Don't Stress the Dress or on movies where they have these magical moments. Like, yeah, it's not always like that, but that doesn't mean that that's a bad thing. Number 6, put someone on guest book duty. I tried to do the Polaroid photo guest book. It flopped. It flopped so bad. This is the only thing that I can think of that would have made it more successful, because I feel like I did everything that I saw online. I did everything I could to try and make it a success. For example, having a printout of the instructions for the Polaroid camera, putting them Polaroid there with extra film, putting tape. I think my tape didn't work. I used like the little glue things, don't know what they're called. I don't think they stuck down, which might have been a contributing factor. So maybe have Prit sticks or something like that, or actual tape. Yeah, basically my guest book is lovely and it has beautiful messages from all the friends and family. It's absolutely lovely. That is only because one of our groomsmen realised how empty it was and went round the tables at about 11 at night when everyone was absolutely mad with it and got them to fill it in. And then I think a lot of people just stole their Polaroids, which is fine. I shouldn't say stole. Well, they did kind of steal. I think they just took their pictures and took them home, but they didn't get stuck in the book. So it is what it is. I wasn't even going to buy a guest book in the first instance, to be honest, but we ended up doing it. It was only about £25. It wasn't the biggest spend ever, but yeah. If I'd said to him at the start of the day, like, can you ensure that people are doing this and maybe just keep a wee eye on that area, I don't think he would have minded. So yeah. In a similar vein of kind of giving tasks, we had some disposable photos. Initially I wanted to do like a disposable camera on every table. That was until I realised how expensive disposable cameras were. So I didn't do that. But I did buy 4 and I gave them to specific people. So I kind of thought in my head, like, A, who do I trust to take photos? And B, who is kind of, you have to pick people that are in different circles, if that makes sense. So I picked Erin, who's my bridesmaid, who was going to be there kind of from the start of us getting ready in the cars and everything like that. So they're at different points throughout the day. I then picked one of Ryan's groomsmen who, similar to Erin, was kind of with him in the morning when he was getting ready, and then they went in their own transport and etc, etc. And then I picked a member of my family who was going to be there to take photos kind of my family. Erin, Ryan's sister, would have been taking photos of his family, and then I picked my best friend Elena, who would be there with my friends to take photos of my friends. So kind of like a whole range of people to get a range of photos from the day. And I put like specific little instructions on the cameras. I don't know if I've got a photo, I'll maybe try and include it, of basically how to use them, because I'd seen so many horror stories about people getting them printed out and they were terrible because people had not put the flash on. So to be honest with you, I only handed mine in to get developed a week ago, so I don't know if they're any good, but I'm just speaking as if it all went to plan and I did it really successfully. So yeah, assign jobs. Number 8, this is a little bit separate to the actual wedding, but I would say if you can keep the party going in terms of wedding celebrations in general, I feel like when it comes to the wedding weekend, people are already there celebrating you. So if you have the capacity, just extend it a wee bit. So we get married on Saturday, and then that weekend was actually a bank holiday weekend, so people were off the Monday. So on the Sunday, my mum and dad kindly opened up their home and we had a wee party in their house, and that was so fun. So I would just say, if possible, I know that some people maybe when they get married kind of abroad, or if they get married in like a, I don't know, if everyone's going to stay in a certain location, they'll have a meal before the wedding. So it's kind of a similar thing, but we just had something like a wee party the next day. It's just a bit of a buzz because, you know, like everyone's just chatting about what happened and saying funny stories, and yeah, I just think it's just fun to, you know, keep the good vibes going. In terms of gifts kind of for people, so you've got kind of different people that need to buy gifts for. One of them was my bridesmaids, so my sister and Ryan's sister, and I also wanted to get something for my mum and Ryan's mum because they've just helped a lot throughout the process, you know, obviously like helping with organisation of things and just being there, you know. So I wanted to get them a nice gift. So what I ended up getting them was like an experience that we could all go and do together. So we ended up doing the Glen Eagles brunch, which is on the first Sunday of every month, and that was so fun because it was I think it was, we got married in May and then we went in July, so it was maybe about 6 weeks after, or about 2 months after the wedding, and it's just so fun because you're just reminiscing and talking about the hen do and talking about the wedding, and it's just like, yeah, it's a fun way just to, it's not like a material object but a wee day that you can just go and have fun and make some more nice memories. So yeah, gift experiences, not things. And last but not least, this is related to, again, after the wedding, is if possible, go on your honeymoon or mini moon or whatever you like to call it, go straight after, because you are in such a nice place of a little love bubble, a little fun bubble. You've just had a big party with all your friends and family, and there's so many like funny stories come out of it. You've had the hens, you've had the stags, you've had the wedding, you're just on a bit of a buzz, and I just think keep that going. So we got married on the Saturday and we were able to fly out to Rhodes on the Tuesday, and that was so perfect because, as I said, we had a little party on the Sunday and then we could basically get organised on the Monday. We had one day to run to the shops if we had to grab stuff, and then we went on the Tuesday and it was just perfect. It was so good, just really kept the momentum going. So if possible, I would say to do that. Okay, well that is all my wedding tips. I hope that you found them helpful. If you have any questions about anything that I mentioned, or if you just have a question about anything wedding related in general, please don't hesitate to let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I would really appreciate it. And if you're interested in hearing from me again, seeing my face again, then please feel free to subscribe. I am trying to build my little channel slowly but surely. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you are getting married soon, have the best time. Honestly, it'll be fine. It'll be so fine. I feel like when you can really get in your own head about it, but when everything's said and done and you step back and you look back at it, you just think, that's great. It's just great. We can just get ourselves worked up over things that aren't really that deep. Like honestly, like there are going to be things that go wrong or that you're not happy with, but most of these things are things that you can look back and laugh about. Like it's gonna be okay. So yeah, okie doke. Thanks again, good luck, you're gonna have an amazing time and I'm so excited for you. Okay, bye.